Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And I'm back again this time round to preview the Carabao Cup round of 16 match between Leicester and Arsenal. And I have a Leicester fan with me. I have an Arsenal fan with me. Let me start with the Leicester fan from LCFC Boya. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Started the season a lot better than I was expecting. Top of the league. How long that's going to last, who knows? But got to enjoy it whilst we're here.
Yeah, awesome. Where can they follow you?
So on YouTube, LCFC Boya, Twitter, LCFC Boya _YT, and the same for Instagram.
Awesome. And Ramsey, Arsenal fan, how are you?
Yeah, all good, man.
Where can they follow you?
Yeah, so I am at Ramsey_sports on the Twitter. And follow us on YouTube as well, Neek Sports on YouTube, Neek Space Sports on YouTube. We film content, everything sports, not just football, everything, all on there.
Yeah. Awesome. So Leicester play Arsenal on Wednesday, 7:45 UK time. Not the best of fixtures to be playing right now. They're top of the table. I'm sure you're buzzing right now. How does it feel to be top of the table?
Well, let's just say last time we got top of the table, it ended pretty well for us. So I don't think we're going to go that far again. But seeing how worried a lot of Leicester fans were at the start of this season, sort of with what looked like that we weren't going to sign a winger, which was a gaping hole in our squad, really thin squad depth. But we've addressed a lot of that, so I'm feeling a lot more positive than I was sort of 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and Ramsey, Arsenal start 2 wins out of two. Have you been happy with the start?
Yeah, I'm similar sort of thing. There was sort of nervousness going towards the season. People weren't sure what was going to happen, but these two games were must-win games, considering with the fixture that we have coming up. We
Yeah.
had to get those wins out of the way. So yeah, very happy that we done it, and we done it one game comfortably, the other game not so comfortably, but 6 points is 6 points, and that's all we needed right now, man.
That's all we needed, yeah. And the transfer window, what have you thought about your transfer window? Do you expect more players? Are you happy with the likes of Castagna so far?
Our transfer window, we're in sort of a difficult situation being owned by King Power, which is a duty-free company, and obviously all the airports are closed. So all of
Mhm.
the sort of considering those circumstances, I'm very happy. We've sold Chilwell for 50 million, who was a player who didn't want to be at Leicester, and you could tell that quite clearly. To bring in
Mhm.
Castagna, who, yes, he's only played 2 games, but in his opening 2 games, he's got man of the match both games. And then we've also brought in Under, but I haven't seen anything from Under yet, so it's too quickly to say, oh, he's going to be a good signing, or he's going to be a bad signing. But he does look very promising.
Yeah, and any more signings you want to make this season, or are you good to go with the players that you've already bought?
I think we need another centre back, and it looks like that Wesley Fofana from St Etienne may be that man,
Mhm.
as well as James Tarkowski is another one that we're monitoring according to Fabrizio Romano. So it's definitely something that the club are sort of aware that we're thin on in that area, because we've got Siuntu and Evans, who's a brilliant centre back starting partnership, but behind that
Mhm.
there's a real lack of quality in depth, because we've got Wes Morgan, absolutely love him, but he's what, 36 now. You can't be relying
Mhm.
on that. And then Benkovic, who's made of glass, who like every time you need him, he's injured.
How about Evans is still suspended, right? Will he be back for the game?
No, and I think this would have been his final game that he would have been of his suspension, and then he's back for us on Saturday against Man City.
Mhm. Awesome. So both of us have tough games over the weekend, City and Liverpool. Ramsey, our transfer window so far, what have you made of it? We've got Willian, we've got Gabriel, Salib also came in but has not appeared. How many more players do we need? Have you been impressed with the ones that have already played so far?
Yeah, and I think we have to realize that our biggest signing of the summer is getting Aubameyang to sign a new deal. That was the
Yeah.
most important thing that we needed to do, and we got it done. We literally look comfortable now that he's sort of signed, and the rest is just like any additions. Of course, Willian's a decent signing. Keeps things ticking along. Looks good in his first game. Gabriel again looks good. 2 games in. I'm happy with that start. Like he's made at the back. Long season to go, so this things could all change. And obviously Saliba, who we brought in last year, but one for the future. Um, I still feel like if this transfer window happened today and we didn't sign anyone else, I think it will go down as a decent window. But for me, in
Yeah.
terms of bringing into the club, Thomas Partey has always been my number one. So in terms of players coming in, that would have been my biggest signing. I think Arsenal's biggest signing if we managed to get him. I still feel like the deal can happen, especially now that Atletico want Torreira. So that's a good make weight to bring him in. But for me, that is an area we've needed for years. And I think if we get him, then I can finally say that we've actually had a really good transfer window. And if we bring in Aouar from Lyon, then we've had a great transfer window because that's just another layer of creativity in the middle. You can't ask for more for what Arteta wants and needs. And now that he's the manager, he gets control about signings as well, not just a coach on the pitch. So whether you like that system or not, he gets control as with Edu and trying to find the right players. So it will definitely be players that he wants coming into the club. So yeah, if we manage to get Partey and Aouar, then can't complain whatsoever.
Yeah, and Ant, I wanted to ask you about the players that you want to go. Which players do you want to leave? Chilwell has already left, but there's a lot of players that never played, the likes of Albrighton, Iheanacho. Who are you looking for to like selling? Who do you want to leave?
It's a difficult one for us because obviously we've got Europa League this year, so we don't want to thin the squad down too much with that in mind. But at the same time, we've got a lot of deadwood players on big wages, like Adrian Silva, 80k a week, Islam Slimani, 80k a week. Like players like that, if they're not going to get an opportunity, they need to go.
Yeah, Ramsey, Ant is talking about players deadwood being on 80k a week. How about us? We have people on 350k a week. You have people to close to 1 million a week. How about us? Which players are you? Apart, you've mentioned Torreira. Ozil, he's still part of the team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all know the situation with Ozil. Arteta doesn't want him, looks like, to stay, but he's got a year left in his contract. No one's coming in for him. He says he wants to stay.
Yeah,
And that's his prerogative. We gave him the deal a few years ago. Everyone wanted him to sign. We gave him the deal. We put him on that money. So it is what it is. And we have to just suck it up for the year, unless someone comes in with a last minute bid, or we release him for the contract, which is not going to happen. So yeah, we'll just have to wear that one for the season, unfortunately. And who knows? He may become part of the squad. It was weird. He started every single one of Arteta's game before lockdown, and then didn't start one afterwards. So something happened during that time where he just felt like he wasn't going to be good enough. Guendouzi's the one really for me. Obviously, I think there's rumors coming out today saying that he's asked to leave the club.
yeah,
He's the one that we can make a lot of money from because of his potential. He's still a good player and he's got a good future ahead of him. He's just not the right fit right now for Arsenal, and he's had too many clashes with certain players in training, that sort of stuff. So I think it's time for him to go. Lucas Torreira, as I mentioned before, another good player, but again, we just need a bit of a change from him now. And then of course the actual Deadwood, which is like the Socrates, Mustafi, those I'd love those two to go. I think Socrates will. I'm not sure about Mustafi with his injury record. I'm not sure if he'll go this window. And again, injuries have kind of hampered us in terms of trying to sell players. Chambers, I think, maybe one that may have left as well, but his injury record probably suggests that he may just stay until January as well. So yeah, we'll see. And there's a lot of talk about Reece Nelson going on loan, especially now you've
yeah,
got Willian in. I wouldn't be mad at that at all, really. I want him to stay long term, but yeah, bringing in Willian does hamper his place in the first team. But I'd like to see him get a role in the Premier League, maybe even a Leicester,
uh-huh.
or someone somewhere where he can play football, where he can develop. He's a good talent. So if someone's looking for like a young winger, I know Leicester just brought in a winger, but if someone wanted a good winger, a young player who's hungry to play, then I think he may just be a good fit for someone in the Premier League.
Yeah, just before I get into the actual match, I wanted to ask you, Ant, what are your expectations for this season for Leicester? Of course, last season you had a very, very good season. Top four for most of the season and lucky not to get Champions League. What's your expectation for this season?
My expectation is probably top 8, but I've still got hope that we can break the top 6 again, because I think that's got to be the goal and sort of the target, to stay in the top 6 and break it for a third time.
And Ramsey, Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to aim for top 4, definitely. Like, and Arteta will be telling his players that he wants to get top 4, but with the quality ahead of us in Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, and City, and Spurs, it will be difficult to say that's like a mainstay. So for me, I predicted start of season that we'll finish 5th, but there's no reason why if we go on a good run that we can't finish in the top 4. However, Europa League for me is important thing to try and go for. Winning that, getting to the Champions League next year is a big plus as well. So if we don't get top 4, then Europa has to be the priority.
Yeah, so as I said, we play Leicester on Wednesday. The winner travels to Anfield. Not the best of fixture for us. Ramsey would know that. Traveling to Anfield again. Last season we went there twice. For this match, we also don't have a good record at King Power. Last season we lost, almost made Emery get sacked. The previous season cost us top 4, lost again. I think the last time we actually won there was when Sanchez scored like a hat-trick and we won 5-2, their title-winning season. Ramsey, are you confident for this game? We've never won there like since 2015, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Carabao Cup is completely different, and it's a chance for us to play our big squad. We do have a big squad at the moment, probably unbalanced, but it's big enough to put out a decent lineup, even with players that haven't played on the weekend. So although like the form and the fixtures in terms of Leicester City and Liverpool afterwards doesn't look good, it's going forward. With Leicester probably going to be playing a weaker side, it'll be like who's got the better weaker side, because I think with the games coming up as well, people ain't going to be playing their full side. And we should have beaten Liverpool in the cup last year. Went out on penalties. Yeah. We should have beat them. And if they play a similar sort of squad, there's a chance for either team to go through and beat that Liverpool team, because they won't be going gung ho for that, because they got obviously other aspirations. So yeah.
Yeah, this competition, we've also never won this competition in a while. Like, are you hoping we get at least to the final this time round?
Listen, this cup isn't a priority for me at all. It's bottom of the list, above the Community Shield, which we did win. But like it's literally bottom barrel. So I generally couldn't care less in terms of what happens in this competition. Like if we win it, I'll take it. You know what I mean? It's another cup for Arteta. It's good, but especially this season, it'll probably be more distraction than anything, because there's so many games pushed into like a shorter schedule. It means that we'll get a lot more midweek Premier League games. We're going to get a lot, obviously, with the Europa League this year, forced into small windows as well. It means that games are just going to be coming thick and fast. And so having another competition, although it allows us to play a weaker squad, it just may be a bit of a hindrance. I'd rather just have Europa and the Premier League, really. Especially if we're not going to win it. I don't want to go there to the final, playing all these games and then lose it. And as you said, we've lost in the final in the past to City in recent years, and Birmingham as well, and Chelsea. So it's like we don't have a good record in it. If we go out to Leicester City, genuinely, like it wouldn't faze me. If we win, it's all good. A win's good for confidence. So yeah, genuinely.
Yeah. Thank you very much for reminding me of that Birmingham game. It still hurts 10 years later.
Yeah, man. I mean, if we can't beat Birmingham in the final, we ain't gonna. This
can't be that again. Yeah. How about you, Ant? Of course, you're also in the Europa League. What's your target for the Europa League? What's your target for the Carabao Cup? Of course, you've mentioned your target for the league, but how about the other competitions?
So for the Europa League, I just want us to go as far as we can into it, and sort of like we did in the Champions League, really make a strong account for ourselves. When we knocked out Sevilla, we were so close to beating Atletico, bar a dodgy penalty decision. So my hope is for this, but we can just go and make ourselves proud again. But in terms of a Carabao Cup, I couldn't really care less, to be honest. We've got a smaller squad than Arsenal, and you guys are talking about it being a hindrance to your season in terms of playing more games. So imagine that for Leicester, whose squad's a lot smaller than yours. So yes, a win would be great to keep the confidence going, 3 out of 3 and all of that. But if we lose to Arsenal, I'm not going to be too concerned at all.
Yeah, speaking of the squad, let me know what your starting lineup would be for Leicester for this game.
It's a difficult one. It is a difficult one what our starting 11 will be, because it either goes one of two ways. Brendan Rodgers takes this very seriously, like he did last year, where we got to the semi-final and probably should have beaten Villa in the final, but he went strong right from the start. Or he's going to treat it how he treated the FA Cup and rotate completely, which is what I think he will do. So I'm going to go with Danny Ward in goal, with probably James Justin at right back, Darnell Johnson, one of our young centre backs, obviously as a centre back. Wes Morgan as the other centre back and captain. Fuchs at left back. Hamza Chowdhury probably will play, with Dewsbury Hall, another exciting youngster, went out on loan last year at Blackpool, looked really good. So I'm interested to see what he can do in a Leicester top. And then on the left, we're going to have Damari Gray, striker Iheanacho, and on the right, Mark Albrighton. So it's one of these games. It's an opportunity for some players like Gray, Iheanacho to be knocking on Brendan Rodgers' door of why they should be starting.
Yeah, these players you're mentioning, these players were part of your title-winning squad. Morgan, Foots, Albrighton, Gray. Really not a second team, but so you don't want to see Vardy or any of those players if you're 2-1 down in the 80th minute, for example.
The only one that I wouldn't mind seeing is Maddison, and that's just because he's coming back from injury and to get some more minutes under his belt. But if we're losing that late on, it is what it is, and it's not worth risking any players because we've got Man City at the Etihad on Saturday, and that's got to be the priority.
Yeah, and Ramsey, the last time we played Leicester, Nketiah got a red card. Are you starting him in your lineup?
Yeah, I think you have to. Again, as I said, this is an opportunity for the players to again prove themselves, give themselves an opportunity as well in this game. We've already had some rotation in the first 2 games, so another opportunity for more rotation here. For me, we just announced a new signing today, actually, with Runarsson, new goalkeeper. So I think it's probably with the mindset that he may start. Be good to see what he's like. He's obviously worked before with our goalkeeping coach. So it'd be good to see how he is, how he fits in. He's 25 years old, signed on a 5-year deal, so he's obviously coming to be the number 2. But yeah, let's just see how he goes, because another Leno injury and he may have to play. So yeah, it'd be good to get him out there, and maybe he'll play in the Europa League as well. I think we'll probably go with the same formation, 3-4-3. So the 3 at the back, I think David Luiz will come in. He's been out with a neck injury, but he seems to be back. He was on the bench on the weekend, so I think he will come in. I'm gonna go with Saliba. He played in under 23 games. I think he'll start with David Luiz, and then maybe Kolasinac. I know he played on the weekend, but I feel like Tierney's injury wasn't too bad, so I think he'll probably come back in. So I think maybe another game for Kolasinac will happen. And then right wing back, I'll go for Cedric. And then I'll go El Neni in the middle because he's still there somehow. And Joe Willock next to him, with probably say Maitland-Niles comes back in. I know Saka played left wing back and he played it in the first game, but I think Maitland-Niles probably come back in there. It could be a toss up between the two. Them two obviously fighting for the first team place, and then I'll go with a front 3 of Pepe, Nketiah, and maybe Nelson, Reece Nelson. Again, that's not That's up in the air. Not guaranteed who start. Again, I have no idea. He may even go with one or two players that played last week. But yeah, that's the squad I think. Because we're playing Liverpool on Monday, we do get a bit of a rest after this game. So there may be an opportunity for maybe a Xhaka. He may play, or even Gabriel may play as well at the back. So yeah, I have no idea what his mindset is going to this.
It's not just Liverpool. You have Sheffield after that, Man U, Man City, I think Tottenham, Leicester again in the league, I think in like 3 weeks' time. So there's two players I want to ask you about. Pepe, are we having to use him now in the Carabao Cup? Is he no longer a first team player? And Ozil. Ozil, should he start in this one or no?
I think with Pepe, it's interesting because he's not done anything really to lose his place. His last start was in the FA Cup final when he played quite well, got an assist in the final. But I just feel like with Willian starting so well, you can't really drop him right now. I mean, he didn't have as good as a game he did against Fulham, but against Fulham he was brilliant. And I feel like Pepe may start today on Wednesday and play very well and earn a place in the Liverpool squad. He's good enough to start for us for sure. And I think him and Willian, like, for me, it's a flip of a coin. Willian's got the experience, but then Pepe's got the legs, he's got the youth, he's got the skill. It depends on the people we're playing. Maybe this suits him. He played quite well against Robertson last year at Anfield. So it could be a place that, this is what I like. I like opportunity. I like players to fight for their place. I don't like that fact that you get a guaranteed start every week. The only person, I said this in my preview last week, the only person who should be starting guaranteed each week is Aubameyang and maybe Leno. Everyone else, for me, you got to fight for your place in that squad. And if no one's cutting it, if someone's not cutting it, he should be dropped. And you got to earn your place. And now that you've got these Carabao Cup games, you've got Europa League games, they're the games that you're going to have to try and force your way back into the team. And Ozil, I just don't feel like he's part of the squad at all. He's not been on the bench for the past 2 games. He hasn't been on the bench since, I think, since Southampton away last year. So I just don't see him being integrated back into the squad. I know he's been training, but I can't see it personally.
Yeah, and Ramsey has already said he wants Thomas Partey. Question for you, Ant. If you're to sign just one more player this transfer window, who would you get?
James Tarkowski just offers that little bit of experience, Premier League experience, top class centre back, and would be perfect competition for Ciencio and for Evans.
And he didn't actually play yesterday in the Burnley game, so interesting. And apart from Aubameyang, which player would you try and get from Arsenal if you had the chance?
That's a good question, because there's a couple of players that I think that would massively improve Leicester, obviously. But I think, again, looking at, it'll be a centre-back again, because that is really the point that we're quite weak now. So I'd probably say Gabriel, because he sort of fits that Leicester philosophy of buying young, exciting prospects. But I think you've got yourself a great centre-back there.
I was almost wondering, you just don't come to Arsenal for centre-backs. They won't make you better. They'll make you worse. Ramsey, how about you? From Leicester, who would you try and get from Leicester? Of course, apart from their top scorer.
For me, it'll be Ndidi. It's a position that we need. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking about Leicester's squad. And when I was watching the game last week, was it yesterday? Ndidi is a class act, really. He just covers that defense very well when he's playing in DM. And I feel like it's a position that we badly need. So I genuinely feel like if the Partey deal cannot happen whatsoever, then he'd be a player that I'd want to take. But I don't think Leicester will be giving him away. Put it like that.
I don't think if you can't afford Partey, there's no way you're going to afford it.
Beyonce is more expensive.
If you want to see how Leicester's board work, just ask United with Maguire.
Yeah. I don't blame them. It's just too many times these clubs are just getting bullied for their players, and
Yeah.
like it's about time they started fighting back. Burnley said, look, West Ham bidded 30 million for Tarkovsky. He said, nah, it's not enough. Like this is what we
Mhm.
think that they're worth. If you want that, you pay for it. Palace said the same thing with Wan-Bissaka. Uh, this is the game. Like I know it's expensive, but
Yeah.
people can't afford to lose these players. And so you have to pay the premium, which is why I think Arsenal's dealing outside of the Premier League because we ain't got time to be paying all this sort of money. When they
Mhm.
when Palace said 80 million for Zaha, I say no, you know what, we'd rather spend it 70 mil on a younger Pepe. So yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's quite similar with
Yeah.
Leicester, to be fair, because we inquired about Dwight McNeil and it was said 40 million. So we went to Roma to get under for what,
yeah,
17.
40 million for
So
McNeil is crazy.
It's
no,
But
he's a
as I
good
crazy.
said,
player. But he's a good player, but not a 40 million player.
no.
So
No,
so
but again,
you got to be smart.
Burnley well within their right to say what they want because they can't afford to lose
Yeah,
him. He's
yeah.
the sort of player that they need.
And it's that
Yeah.
homegrown quota thing, isn't it, as well? But for an English player,
Yeah,
you can charge more. We saw that with
yeah,
Danny Drinkwater, decent midfielder, but to get 35 million for him, that's absolutely
That was a
ridiculous.
steal. That was a
yeah.
Yeah,
steal. He has not.
that
He
was
didn't
good.
help Chelsea for a minute. He
He didn't
never
even
No,
play.
helped Chelsea.
He barely
He didn't
played.
even play.
he's
He
played
he
more
also
games for
went on loan.
Burnley than he has for Chelsea.
He also went to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Didn't play. But anyway, for the prediction, we'll start with you, Ramsey. What's your prediction for the game?
Ooh, I've not actually thought about this. I'll probably go with 2-1, 2-1 to Arsenal. But I won't be
Mhm.
surprised. I won't be surprised if this goes penalties because it's straight to penalties after 90 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it
Um,
is this season. Yeah.
I want to go 2-1 Arsenal. Yeah, but yeah, I won't be surprised. I wouldn't be mad at seeing a penalty shootout, to be fair. But yeah.
It's not probably not good for our heart, but if it has to go there, we'll be okay. And prediction for the game.
I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester. But it's, as Ramsey said earlier, this game's massively reliant on sort of what two teams the manager picks. Because I think if we do go for a strong team, I think we've got every chance of winning. Because I think you guys know undoubtedly will rotate, but for us, I'm unsure if how much we will or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even with
So
us, I mean, I predicted a
mhm.
quite a stronger team. He may even put in some more youngsters. So it's
Yeah.
a cup where we've just traditionally brought through the likes of sort of Cesc Fabregas and Jack Wilshere and those sort of players. And I feel like there may be an opportunity for the likes of Emil Smith Rowe as well to make an appearance, just because it's a
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
it's the Carabao Cup. It's not, no one's really going to be going gung ho for it, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, something that
Yeah.
I didn't
Last.
mention, but we
Okay.
oh,
Go
so,
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
something that I didn't mention, but we might see is we could see Under's debut for Leicester because he's eligible to
Mhm.
play now. So I'd like to see
Yeah.
him, even if it's like a 10-15 minute appearance at the end. I'm just so excited to
Mhm.
see him because we haven't had a decent winger on that right hand side since Mahrez left. So I'm really looking
Mhm.
forward to seeing what he's about.
Do you think bringing him in means that Damari Gray might move on?
I can hope.
You can hope.
You can
You don't
hope.
want him.
You want him to
I'm
leave.
I'm not a fan of Damari Gray at all. Uh, a lot of
Wow.
Leicester fans aren't either, and like it's quite interesting because you talk to non-Leicester fans and they seem to think he's like some high potential player and stuff. His decision making is absolutely woeful. He's
Mhm.
like he has moments of magic, but they're far and few between.
Hmm. He's what?
Wow.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he's probably what, about 20, 23, 24.
He's
He's
nearly
not. He's not.
25 now.
Yeah, so he's not. He's not young. You think of him as a young. I always see him as a young player, but yeah, he's getting on a bit
It's like
now.
it's as well when you see what Harvey Barnes has done in the same amount of time, sort of
Mm,
aggression you've seen from Harvey Barnes, and then Damari
Mhm.
Gray's almost gone backwards in that because Damari Gray, when he first came to Leicester, exciting youngster from Birmingham, get on the ball, take players on. Now he just seems almost sort of timid and worried that he's going to lose the ball kind of thing. So I think for him and Leicester, it'll be best if he moves on.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised to see him going on loan, maybe.
How
His
about
contract
Albrighton?
runs out at the end of this year, so it'll be
Was it?
Always interested about Albrighton. Do you still want him to stay there like Morgan?
again. I love Albrighton, club legend in terms of winning the league, Champions League run. But we've almost gone past that style of play of work hard, whip the ball in and stuff. And that's what Albrighton is. He's a really hard worker and has got a brilliant delivery on him. But when you're putting the ball into the box to Vardy, he's not your man to be winning the headers and stuff. When we had a Joa, Albrighton was a lot more effective.
From the chat, Ramsey, Babu all says Niles won't start on Wednesday. Is being saved for Liverpool. Maybe he might come in the last 20 minutes. So would you start him or just keep him for Liverpool?
It depends. It depends what he wants to do. It depends if he wants to go with Saka or Maitland-Niles against Liverpool. I can 100% understand why you'd go with Maitland-Niles, especially with the way he played in the big game, in the Liverpool game, in the Shield, in the FA Cup semi-final and final. But in the same time, when we beat them in the league last season, Saka played left wing back, and he done quite well against Trent in particular, coming down the wing. But yeah, the only reason why I say he was started is because Saka got 90 minutes on the weekend. Now it was Saturday night, it's Wednesday. There's enough time to rest and play him again. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see either one, even if maybe both of them don't play and someone else goes there. Maybe Kolasinac goes there and a Gabriel comes in at centre back. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, either one. I'm glad. I partly wanted to sell Maitland-Niles, like for a fee lot in the summer. Like there was parts of me that was like, it would be a good deal, like to get that amount of money for him and to invest it somewhere else. But the way he's been playing, I can't begrudge Arsenal for keeping him at the moment. Can't begrudge. He's been playing so well.
Yeah, and Kolasinac. So play Kolasinac and pray through the 90 minutes, huh?
Yeah, I mean, even that he's apparently Germany. He wants to go back to Germany as well, so that maybe is one of his last games for Arsenal. In there, so yeah, wouldn't be surprised if he plays in just the Carabao Cup, and then yeah, we desperately need Tierney back for Liverpool. We didn't look half as good without him there, so.
Yeah, I can clearly tell it's getting very dark for Ant. So last question for you, Ant, which position do you think Arsenal will finish this season?
It's hard to say. You've started well, and something that you did, but you haven't done a lot of last year was win when you didn't play well, which is a really good quality to have. So I'm going to say I think you could sneak fourth, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if you ended up sliding down the table again.
Wow. Okay, and Ramsey, Leicester, which position do you think they'll finish?
Yeah, that's a tough one as well. I didn't have them in my top six this season. I think with Wolves not playing in Europa, it benefits them massively in the league table. They just get that massive rest and just play with their stronger squad. So yeah, unless they go on that run, I can see maybe a 7th place finish. I think Wolves will probably get 6th. Sorry, I think Wolves will get 7th. Leicester probably get 8th. Maybe Everton 9th. But yeah, that's just going on. That's just going on players. Form in the season just changes things completely. Leicester finished above us comfortably last year. So yeah, but Europa League can mean that things can change.
Yeah, awesome. And where can they follow you? We'll have a preview on his channel tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, so my preview review will be out tomorrow 4 p.m. So keep your eye out for that. So LCFC Boya on YouTube, and then Twitter LCFC Boya _YT. So make sure to subscribe to me. I'm trying to push for 3K by the end of the year, and then also follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, go check him out. He does some awesome vlogs, and when the fans were allowed on the pitch. But thanks very much for coming on.
Cheers for having me on, mate. I appreciate it.
Drive safe.
Cool, mate.
Ramsey, how about you? Where can they follow you?
Yeah, at Ramsey_sports on Twitter. Check out my channel as well at Neeks Sports, NEEKS space sports. As I said, all things sports, mainly football, but yeah, you can catch us all over there talking Arsenal and Man United.
Awesome, man. Thanks very much for coming on.
Cool, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, man. Cheers.
No problem. Yeah, so that was Ramsey and Ant. So I'll have the my lineup for the game in my preview later on tonight, maybe in like 3 hours time. Thanks to everyone who watched. Let me check the comments. Babu O Lewis, Sadiki, Mustafa, RK Sweetie, Charlie, Liam. Thank you very much all for watching. Watch out for the preview. Keep staying safe, and I'll catch up with you guys later.